Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kyushu here, and now, before I begin, let me go ahead and give a brief little review. In the last part, we had a number of events happening. Now, Deku's faction of Vault 16, they have done quite a few things. Within the last 3 weeks, they sent out invitations and negotiations for possible trade out to every faction they can. They personally met with the cons. They went out to Vegas and touched base with Mr. House and talked to someone from the NCR. They are trying to negotiate new terms for where to meet and how to. They wish to have it be in Vegas, but they want it to be at their vault. They are firm on that stance. The Brotherhood, they have yet to open trade nor come to them for a talk. The Legion, however, they came about 4 days after they dropped off the flag in the trade offer and their terms. Now, the Vault Overseers, they had lunch with Caesar. He also was able to see quite a number of things that their society has accomplished. They're turning Camp Searchlight, a place that was a sandy, broken down city, heavily irradiated, into a small oasis where the old world is beginning to rebuild. The first new city of their Vault Society. Not Mr. House. Caesar, he also got to talk to the Overseers, where Evelyn, she discovered while standing there the man had a brain tumor. And this meant quite a bit. Deku, he thought it was kind of funny and kind of ironic that the man talking about going back to the old ways has to rely on old world technology to cure himself of his ailment. Now, right now, they do hold the key to his survival. They can treat him and prolong his life, or if he does agree to their terms, perform a surgery that will ensure he does no longer have to deal with his ailment. Right now, they wish to give him time to decide, and this time should also be quite beneficial to them. Depending on who they side with in the upcoming war for Hoover Dam does determine everything. If they side with Mr. House, they'll have to go against both the Legion and the NCR. However, right now, they're also trying to figure out stuff whenever it does come down to the Enclave. Deku, he was there for the negotiations, and he wished to go back over to Jacobstown to touch base with the team there and figure out what's happening. But he does have some new delay that is preventing that. 4 days ago, they lost contact with a team. All of them were normal humans, and they were in Las Vegas. A couple hours ago, they lost contact with another team. The team sent out to search for the missing 4. However, that team had a mutant. It also had Mia Midoriya, who was quite alarmed when things turned sour. And Deku, upon hearing that his sister is in more trouble and is lost in Vegas, he went quiet. He already knew his dad learned this information, and if he's going to do something stupid, he's going to make sure to tag along and try to minimize any sort of damage that can be caused from the Overseers. However, the damage that might be caused to Vegas definitely may be a whole lot worse. He has a theory right now about what might have happened. Chloe, she put together a search team. People who are going to help them track everyone down. If things go bad, then it's going to be simple. Deku, he's going to be mad. He's going to be angry. And he might go ahead and slip back into his old self. The version of himself that did what it took to survive, who was violent, who was angry, and who wanted to burn everything that stood in his way. A part of him likes that type of violence. A part of him likes to hunt. A part of him likes to have prey run from him. He knows all this. And that part of him, it's screaming that harm has come to his pack. It's rearing its ugly head once more. But this time Deku, he might embrace it and let it out. It's been quite a long time since he's had a proper hunt. And this, it might be the time for them to send a message to whoever is trying to fuck with them. He'll make it quite clear and brutal, swift and easy. They took 8 of their people. They might be able to recover some of them, or all of them. If they hurt his little sister, then it's quite simple. Vegas may be burned to the ground. And that is a thought that does pass through Deku's mind. Right now, him hauling ass down the road of the Mojave. And everyone, they are currently following him. Right now, Chloe is sitting right behind him on his ATV, firmly holding on to him, as another vehicle does go to pull up alongside and try to ask him exactly if he thinks that this is going to go well. Deku turning to glance over at Victor and Tracy. And the two, they do go to watch as Deku does go turn his semi-blind eye back to the road. Him not gonna say a word. And Chloe does a turn and glance at Tracy. And Tracy, she does go to stare at Deku, trying to assess where he might be mentally. Deku knows how to break tension. He knows how to negotiate. But he's not going into this with the mindset to negotiate. And Hisashi, he himself does have similar thoughts running through his mind. He doesn't know what Vegas is like, but from the logs, it's a city full of sin and debauchery. It is truly the last remnant of the old world. People out here killing each other, eating each other, fucking hurting each other, using each other. All of it. For what? Another day at survival? Another day of bliss to escape hell? The city is its own oasis. But it is hollow. It's full of killers, junkies, and, well, mercenaries. It truly is a bad city. Though he's gonna finally get to see it for himself. And Hisashi, he does gonna silently follow as there is where Deku, he does go to drive through the gate into Freeside. And when people do get to see them driving through once more, there is where Deku does pull up to the Lucky 38 and go to climb off. Him seeing 4 bikes, 2 ATVs, and going to stare at their vehicles. Right now, Deku going to count all of them in his head. They brought along, what now? 5, 6 more ATVs? And his father is sitting in a suit of fucking power armor. Right now, a Securitron walking up or rolling up, and Mr. House does get to display his face on it. He really needs to clear space for a parking lot if they're just gonna keep bringing in more vehicles. And Deku, he does go to turn a gaze on the Securitron. Mr. House, his holographic face does sit there blankly, going to express. He's assuming that they're here because they lost contact with whatever team he had before. It shouldn't be that much of a concern. They may have had a good time on one of the casinos and forgot to check back in. That's exactly what I'm worried about. Right now, we have a problem. Potentially 8 people missing. That team knows better than not to check in. It's not how they were trained. We're more diligent, we're more aware not to miss things like this. And as far as I'm aware, as long as that satellite, that fucking antenna on top of the Lucky 38 is active, we should be able to send messages from the casinos. Unless someone either took off their Pip-Boy or they're unconscious or dead. You're quite concerned about this. You're Mr. House, correct? The man stepping forwards in his suit of power armor, his voice somewhat distorted. His daughter was a part of the team. Right now, they're trying to find her. This is highly important. She's a human. She's not like the mutants or like her brother. This is bad. One of the mutants went down, which does make them more concerned about that. And Deku does get a turn. My father is right, Mr. House. Your father. Ah, I see. Your sister's missing. That is not good. I've had my Securitrons scouting around the strip for some time. Last time they were last seen, they headed through the gate into the strip. They were not seen exiting, nor do I believe that there is a way out. I have made sure that all of the holes, the nooks and crannies in Vegas are all sealed. There shouldn't be a way in from the sewers, and there shouldn't be a way out underground. So, that does leave the casinos. The 3 families. Yes. Mr. Midoriya, I would highly advise caution against whatever you think you are going to do. I'm going to meet with them. Let them know what I'm going to do. If you plan to destroy my casinos, I would highly advise against it. That would put a bit of a damper on our partnership. No, I'm not going to destroy every casino. I'm going to ask some questions, and if I find the one that may have hurt my family, I am going to burn it to the ground. Or I'll go ahead and just raise every single member of that casino, that family. I'll rip them to shreds. Or I can just mount their heads on pikes in the front yard. Does that sound fair? I will advise you to take whatever action you believe to be justified. However, to not do it in excessive violence. If you do find that one of the families has broken the terms of our contract, then you are authorized to do whatever force you deem necessary. Right now, I will put Securitrons on guard in front of the casinos. If any suspicious activity is reported, they'll know to use lethal force. Good. Don't let anyone leave. No one leaves. Is that fair? That can be amenable. However, I will say that it may slow things down for the afternoon. The afternoon may be all we need if things do go well. Deku turning around and walking straight for the Gamora. And Chloe, she does go to walk up right next to him and go to ask him a question. His birthday is in a little over a week. Almost 2. What does he want for his birthday? Deku walking into the building as Chloe does continue to try and get Deku to talk. He knows what she's doing, and right now he really doesn't have enough effort to care. He doesn't have enough effort to try and pretend to care. He knows what he's got to do. And he's not going to like it. Part of him is. But that part of him also still likes being out here. And whenever Deku does get a step in, a man does go to approach them, expressing about how, hey, they really can't be bringing weapons in here. The guy in power armor has to stay outside. And, well, I take it you know who I am. Your, entourage. They're, certainly something. Hey. The man going to look back directly at Deku. And Deku's horns do definitely stand out. Listen, I don't know who you are, but him stepping forwards and going to shift his hand into that of a Deathclaws, holding up the elongated limb disproportionate to his arm. And the man is just going to stare at that as Deku does go to flex the arm and slam it down on the desk, telling him he thinks he knows exactly who he is. He'd like to meet with their bosses now. This is going to be quite simple. Some of their people went missing. 8 of them. One of them has eyes sort of like his, or has some other strange appendages quite like everyone else here. Hell, he might have even heard of him. The fucker can breathe fire. He probably used it as a goddamn party trick. Now, go get his bosses. Otherwise, this casino is going to be covered in blood. The man staring at his arm as he does gonna brace it up and pound it down on the table quite hard. On this, there's a snap him out of his stupor as someone else does come walking up. One of the enforcers from the casino floor. When he does a turn glaring at Deku, he does a look directly down at his arm. And Deku, he does begin to have his right arm turn more and more into that of a Deathclaw. And when the man does to watch Deku's arm go to start elongating, changing, and the skin darkening, he does a stare on. As Deku does at a point looking at him, and he does a look at everybody. The man at the counter expressing, they need to get the bosses now. This guy's the Deathclaw man. Are you here to rob us? Yeah, I don't think we'll really let you. The man going to hold up a sawed-off shotgun. And Deku, he does to hear weapons being raised at the door as he does a turn and begin to raise his right hand. It turning back to human as he does to approach the enforcer. Got slugs in that thing? Buckshot, magnum, what is it? Him still walking forwards. Regular rounds. That close range are quite devastating. Let's call you bold or stupid. Slugs don't work on me. I've taken quite a lot of hits. So, either you fire that thing and piss me off and I drive it right up your ass, or you go ahead and get your bosses for me. And you save yourself a doctor's visit. And you stop me from murdering everyone you know and getting this place shut down. 8 people are missing. Our people. The 3 families have their own bullshit they're doing. Right now, I don't care about that. I don't care if you all murder each other. I don't care if you all kill each other. I don't care if, hell, you throw a fucking dinner party and do whatever the fuck you do. Right now, I want those people back. I want to find them and leave. I have a lot I'm dealing with, and you really don't want this directed right at you. You've heard stories of me. Well, I'd like to introduce you to more of me. Him gesturing his head over at the people. And the man does a turn as there is where Victor, he does go to step forwards. However, Chloe, she does go to raise an arm to stop him. Her stepping forwards and going to begin to shift. And when the man does get to see her take on a more dog like face, he does get to watch her arms and her hands. Her hands do get to turn into claws. However, when she does a kneel down forwards and go onto all fours, the man does a stare at her as she does get to rattle her tail. And he does a stare on before dropping his shotgun. Him going to blink and look back down. Deku bending down and going to grab it. Before he does it, hand it directly up to the man with the trigger on his side. He could grab it and blast Deku directly in the chest, center mass. But after seeing that shit, yeah, maybe the NCR isn't so fucking crazy after all. Yeah, no, him looking back at Deku with a bit more fear. And Deku does nonchalantly poke him in the chest with the gun again. Him grabbing the handle and running off. As Deku, he does stand there crossing his arms. Right now, him going to think about it for one more minute. Sucking up breath and going to fully pull off his duster. Him going to toss it to the counter and going to stretch his arms as he's to crack his neck. Right now, him just waiting one more minute as eventually some people do come up, talking about how they can meet with the boss. Though, the team will have to stay here. Tracy. Yes? On me. No, they all gotta stay here, and I could kill you if I wanted to. Right now, it doesn't make a difference. I said we're here to talk. We're here to talk. She knows how to talk. I know how to talk. You fucking know how to talk. Actually, no, not Tracy. You're a bit too feisty. Evelyn. Him pointed directly at her as Tracy does go to cross her arms and give a glare at Deku. And the man does get a stare at that as a less intimidating looking woman does get a step forwards. And she does look entirely human. That's the part that does get to throw him off. There's a guy wearing power armor. Either he's a regular human or he's a mutant. But then there's this lovely lady. She's a mutant? I mean, hell, one look at her and not a chance in your life. What? What are you talking about? How about you take some of that gel in your hair and go ahead and grease your own gun? Not interested. What? I recommend you go ahead and shut up. Him going to step forwards as Evelyn does go to follow Deku. And whenever people do go to surround them, they are guided over to the boss's office. And Evelyn, she does go to step through a door and turn, looking around at the bar, and then her eyes do get to focus directly on the pole on stage. And her eyes slightly go wide as she does a snort. Her nearly stopping her stride, but going to cough into her fist. And she does make a comment. This place smells pretty weird. Cigarettes. Cigars. This is a casino. And these guys do definitely like their entertainment. I can tell, cowboy. Deku turning and giving her a bit of a grin. Though it isn't playful. He's ready to rip these guys to shreds. And it does actually make her feel a little scared. Her telepathically gonna ask him if he's ready for this. If he's sure he can handle this. I'm fine. Just making sure. Them walking right up the stairs as they do to head into Big Sal's office. And the man, he does get to sit there, right now, smoking a cigar and leaning back in his own lounge, talking about it. So, there's something they gotta talk to him about. 8 people, all wearing Pit Boys. Were they in your casino over the course of the last week? We saw some people like that. Why? Because they're missing. They haven't reported in. Please. We got enough NCR brats doing the same damn thing. They get a little too drunk, they get a little too tipsy, they get on something they're not supposed to, and hell. By the time they realize they gotta go, they've missed either 3 hours or 3 goddamn days. Sometimes that happens. They don't report in. Not with our people. Our people were told explicitly if they went to Vegas to avoid certain things. Right now, I'm telling you this. Either you answer my questions truthfully, or Evelyn bringing a hand to his right shoulder and giving a firm squeeze. Deku turning and glancing at her with an eyebrow raised. And he does a look back. Where did you see them? You believe her? I trust her. Where did you see them? I don't know. We had to throw one of them out. He nearly lit the goddamn bar on fire. Johnny. Yeah, doing some fucking tricks with a lighter and shit. I don't know how it went. Johnny's a mutant. Just like me. Yeah, you're the Deathclaw man, ain't ya? Gotta say, you don't look that impressive. Boss? Yeah? I saw him turn his entire arm into a fucking gauntlet. I mean, you should have seen it. Really? Well, I'm not that impressed. What do you got there? 44. Should be plenty big enough to deal with you. Alright then. Shoot me in the face. You're either crazy or confident. What are you gonna do? Shoot me in the face. You'll see. Besides, you want to see what my abilities can do? I'll tell you what they can do. Have your men there shoot me, or you shoot me. It's simple. Or I can go ahead and just break your entire desk. Which one do you want? Please. As if you could, Deku standing, leaning forwards, throwing his arm up, and crashing it down through the man's desk. And whenever it does a crack right down the middle, everyone, they do to pull weapons. Big Sal, flying backwards, as he's a crash into the wall in his chair, does try to attempt to slide down. However, he quickly does go to throw himself forwards, pushing off the wall and getting to his feet. And Deku, he does go to pull his arm back up and stand, talking about it. Now, are they done here? We are. He doesn't know anything. None of these men do. Their minds are all clear. Good. So, do you have any idea as to where they could be? No, I don't. Listen, I told you before, we see people in here every day. I don't know where your people are. If you think they got into some sort of trouble, that might be in with one of the other families. Not us. We don't know anything. Where would they go? The Tops or the White Glove Society's Ultralux? Are the rumors of them true? Shit, I don't know. I heard that they were like that once. A long time ago. No one knows if it's still true now. If it is, then they keep it on the low and low. Why? Because the people who are missing are vault dwellers. I see. Check with the Ultralux. Try there first. Listen, the tops, they're under new management from some crazy asshole. Guy was shot in the head once. And, well, he took over the casino. I see. So that's where 6 is. You know Courier 6? I do. Tried to kill me a few times. Well, I killed him. Ooh, that's complicated. Him going to turn. Whenever he does go to leave, Sal, he does debate telling them they'll pay for the desk. And Deku, he doesn't comment on it. Right now, him with a few ideas. Either they head over to the Ultralux and confront the White Glove Society, or he goes to talk over to Courier 6. The man doesn't know Mia is his sister. But at the same time, he would know those people are Vault Dwellers. But why would he abduct Vault Dwellers? Right. He'll have to have a chat with Courier 6. There are rumors. Some are real, some aren't. He was once a rumor, but I mean, he could see why if the White Glove Society were cannibalistic, why they'd take Vault Dwellers. But John isn't good. I mean, he doesn't, well, he does know how Sumin's taste, but Courier 6 is the more likely option. He knows how to deal with a mutant. If something caught him off guard, then he would have been prepared for it. And this is where Deku does take everybody over to the tops. Right now, him watching as a crowd of people are beginning to gather outside the casino. Some are confused as to why they're not being allowed to leave. But whenever Deku does go to make his way in a gap one of the Securitrons to make, a person does try to rush through. Deku reaching out and stopping them, immediately going to turn to glare at them as people do to file in behind him. And right now, he does tell them, stay here. Have they seen anyone with a Pip-Boy lately? What? No, I haven't. Shit, who are you? You know exactly who I am. Tell me now. I don't know. Erica, I'm not picking up their scent. No, nothing. The last casino was a bit too stingy with smoke. But no scent. Nothing at all. I smell something, but I don't think it's them. Deku gonna walk into the casino as someone does try to go through the same dance routine. Turn over the weapons as Deku does tell them that he is here to meet with Courier 6. And the person does clap their hands together and talk about it. He believes that Courier 6 was expecting them. Well, he's over in the presidential suite. And, it's over there. Though he also may be up in the bar if he's not in his suite. He can let the boss know that they're here. Although, he's the legend, isn't he? What legend? Never mind. Yes, I'm who you think I am. Alright. Him going to turn and walk off. Right now, Deku going to stand there and wait. Someone walking up and expressing about how they will have to turn in their weapons if they do wish to step in the casino. A man walking forwards and going to smack the person on the back. Don't be so hasty. Hell, oh, look at this guy. His whole fucking body is a weapon. Where is she? Where are they? Come on now. What are you talking about? I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. He doesn't know. He doesn't? Come on in. I was hoping to have a meeting with you. Maybe a drink, maybe talk about a few things. See about cashing in on that favor. 8 of my people are missing. Yeah, I heard about some of them coming along. Talk to some of them. Seem nice. Seem real accommodating. Give them a few hundred caps and let them run wild. Should have seen it. It's pretty fun. Though that one mutant guy can't hold his liquor for shit. Johnny. Yeah, he was here yesterday. I take it you're not on vacation from the way you're staring at me. No, I'm not. They're missing. My daughter is missing. Admirable. Listen, I don't know nothing about it. If she's missing, then check the NCR embassy. Or Vault 21. Hell. People were partying pretty hard yesterday, so I wouldn't be surprised they're smack dab out of their gourd over in the 21. Hell, I mean, the girl there, Sarah, she's lovely. Definitely knows how to work some stop talking, 6. We're gonna be going now. Him turning to leave. And 6 does talk about it. Can't it wait? Deku turning back as he does go to glare at 6 and then go to turn, making his way through the door and almost going to sprint towards the Ultra Lux. Right now, he does make his way over. People still bothered by the fact they can't leave. And someone standing there on the steps of the casino is trying to talk to a Securitron that is not budging on its stance. Any attempt to leave may be met with lethal force. And the woman there, she is adamant about it. Talking about how they can't do this. This violates the contract they made. This is going against everything the White Glove Society and Vegas does stand for. They are free to do as they will with their casino. I take it you're in charge? Who might you be? Right now, Deku walking up to the woman as he does to tell her. He's the one who ordered the lockdown. Only Mr. House can order such a lockdown. The White Glove Society is trying to understand the situation. Some of my people are quite agitated about all of this. What is the meaning of it? 8 of my people are missing. All wearing Pip-Boys. Does that ring a bell? Deku, watching as the woman's eyes, do immediately go to strike with fear and recognition. As she does quickly conceal her face and go to talk about it. She does not have much knowledge of that. She would have to say if someone would know, it may be Mortimer. But 8 of his people, what happened there? 4 days ago, 4 of them went missing. Yesterday, 4 more went missing. None of them checked in. They were under strict orders to check in. Are you at the NCR? No, I'm not. I'm with the members of Vault 16. A Vault Dweller? You look rather odd. 'Cause I'm a fucking mutant, lady. Listen, I'm already suspicious of you. I already broke Sal's desk over at the Gamora. I went to go see my old friend Courier 6, and your casino's the last one here. So either you're the ones who have my family inside, my sister, or the NCR really fucked everything up. Or we fuck things up and they're crashing over at Vault 21. Now, we're searching your casino. You can't do this, bitch, that was not negotiable. Deku staring at her, and she does as one step back, insulted. Lady, I've dealt with a lot. You know what? Evelyn, this fucker. You were right on the word. She knows. A man named Mortimer, he scouts people out. The woman turning to look at Evelyn, quite fearful. And when she does go to reach for a weapon, Deku, he immediately does go to lash out. Right now, him slicing out with a knife as it does go straight directly for her wrist. Her hand falling to the ground as Deku, he does go to reach out and grab her by her hair. Before he does go to pull her up into the air as he does reach up and go to slice. Right now, him throwing her directly to the ground and turning, telling everybody the White Glove Society is now marked for death. Do as they will and scour the grounds. Make sure anyone connected to them is gone. Take prisoners and do as they will. Him beginning to shift as everyone does is stare on at the man who's going to turn into a giant deathclaw. And there is Hisashi. He froze whenever Deku killed that woman. And he does go to watch as everyone does a step forwards. Right now, Victor, he does go rushing down on all fours. Him partially shifted as he does go running up, bashing directly through the front door of the casino. And when it's just going to happen, Chloe does a shift. Right now, John does just stand there as Erica, she herself does stand there as well. And there is where Tracy, she does go to begin changing. Her legs do go to start to elongate, and her arms do get longer as well. Right now, her growing a pair of long teeth directly from her mouth, and she does go rushing forwards on her new anatomy, as she is quite excited to fight a bunch of people. And right now, Deku, he does go to rush up the door and barrel directly through it. And when people do to see a 20-foot tall Deathclaw, a lot of members of the White Glove Society are quite alarmed. And there is where some do begin to pull some weapons and try to fight. A lot of the dealers at the casino. A lot of the staff that does go to work here. And many of them, they already are being torn apart by Victor. Though there is actually Deku. Deku, he does get a telepathic message from Evelyn, who does go to stand at the front door talking about it. She's trying to look for mines. There's a lot here, but she's trying to look for Mortimer. Him making his way back over as he does a reach down, grabbing her by the waist and throwing her atop his back. And he does move down onto all fours to navigate this place a lot easier. And Evelyn, she is quite surprised, holding onto one of the large spikes on Deku's back as they do begin to move. And right now, Deku, he does go to rip away and tear people apart. As there is where some people, they do get battered by with a quick strike. Some are unfortunately crunched under his feet. And the ones who do begin to seriously start firing at him do take a sonic pulse directly from Evelyn. her blasting out one of those strange beams or rays, or, well, her doing the same doing the same attack as a lake lurk. They send out a beam or a field of psionic energy, a wall of it, to attack you. God, my brain didn't want to tell me that. I had so much trouble saying that out loud. I don't know why. Anyways, now, I'm keeping that in there. Fuck it. Deku, he does go to move around and fight, battering people away, overturning casinos. And when they do gonna make their way into the kitchen, there is where they do to see the dining area. And when Deku does to catch a whiff of meat, he does go to freeze. That strange smell of pork. There's a lot of seasonings and there's a lot of other things there. And there is where Evelyn, she does go to focus her mind and talk about it. Right now, Deku making his way over as she is to tell him to his right. That man over there. That's him. That's him. Deku turning and rushing over. And whenever the man is thrown to the ground under a giant hand, he does go to scream out about how they need to have mercy, please. And Deku does go to raise the man up in his massive hand. And Evelyn does get to talk about it. Okay, hold him still. The man beginning to bleed from his nose as he has a clutch at his brain. And Evelyn does glare at him, talking about it. This sick fuck. They're cannibals. And Deku, that was all he needed to hear. Him bring up his other arm and going to twist the man and pull, as the wall does get splattered by the blood. And Deku, he does go to turn. Right now seeing someone going to raise a weapon and firing at him. Him chucking the top half directly at them. And when he does get to turn again, he has to throw the other half directly at some more guards. As there is where Tracy does come in. Right now, her crashing into somebody as there is where Chloe does leaping onto a table and lunging forwards, flying through the air and sinking her teeth directly into someone's neck. Them crashing to the ground with a terrifying squelch. Now, Deku, he does begin to shrink back down. And whenever he does go to enter into the kitchen, people do to turn. Some quite alarmed at seeing this creature. It's about 10 feet tall, and it does take some of them a moment to realize it is a Deathclaw. As Deku, he does come barreling in and slicing into everybody in the kitchen, tearing some of them to shreds. Some of them are cutting meat, some of them are barbecuing, and the ones who are using flamers to cook a giant Brahmin cut into two parts, he does go rushing directly for them. Him grabbing one of them by the throat and slamming him directly into the other with full force. The man flying backwards and crashing down. And there is where Deku, he did get to ask, did they take any part in preparing the human meat? What? What are you talking about? He doesn't know. Good. Deku snapping the man's neck quickly and moving on, before he does the walk directly down the stairs. And right now, there is where Hisashi, he does it a wait, before he does decide to go rushing forwards and trying to figure out exactly what he wants to do. Right now, he does it a wait up into the casino as people, they are still trying to make their way past. Though, the person at the front door does go to deter them. A giant green man. And he doesn't let people move past him. He stands there. And he is holding a weapon. He was told not to let people pass. And that's exactly what he's doing. But the screams, the fear, the gunfire, and the occasional sounds, yeah, doesn't seem good. Hasashi walking right past him as he does go stepping into the room. Right now, him holding up an assault carbine as he does go to walk through the area covered in blood and bodies. And there is where he does try to find out where people might be. Him bring up a radio and trying to contact Deku. And Deku, he does go to radio back to his dad about how they're in the kitchen. They're just checking the supplies. And Hisashi, he is a little annoyed. Deku, he doesn't go down the stairs. And when the guards do to see him, he does go rushing at them. Right now, him knocking some of them over and taking others down. One man, Deku especially does have to get a bit brutal with, smashing shards of his mask directly into his face. And whenever the guy does eventually go to stop moving, Deku, he does go to stop punching. And there is where he does go to stand, turning and calling out for Mia. Come on, John, John. Him breaking through one of the doors as he does come stepping into the room. It is another kitchen. It does have ovens, it does have a cutting board over there, it does have knives, and Deku does see meat hanging from hooks. And this does go to slightly make his mouth water, but also his stomach churn. Right now, him turning and shouting out a bit louder this time for Mia, John. And he does hear a loud bang from one of the doors. Him rushing to another door and looking around another kitchen. Though this time, he does go to see a bit more than he would like. Right now, he does go to stare at the severed limb of a mutated creature. And Deku, he can already assume about what happened to John. He doesn't know how they got him, but they might have taken their pound of flesh. And he does return. Him and Evelyn going to find the pantry door as she does start picking the lock. And whenever it does finally open, there is where Deku, he does look inside. Right now, a woman stepping forwards and going to burst into tears as she doesn't realize that these people are vault dwellers. And she does start talking about it. They killed them. They killed them. They're eating people. Her freaking the fuck out. And near manic and hysterical. Deku stepping into the room and looking around. Right now, he does see somebody covering some of their wounds and with a lot of injuries. Him turning and seeing that Mia, she does go to sit there, curled up into another ball. And whenever he does a walk forwards and bend down, he does go to talk about it. Mia, 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 Is it dinner time? Mia. Deku brings his hand up and to her face, before he does go to pull his hand back slightly and give her a small smack. Her going to look up at him, still a bit out of it. And he does do one very simple thing. He does bring his hand up and go to twist his skin on her shoulder. And she does go to yell out in pain and go to throw her head forwards, trying to headbutt whoever the hell thought it was a good idea to attack her. And Deku, he does go to pull his head back, as she does a leap up forwards and try to attack him. Her going to freeze when she doesn't realize the people in the doorway aren't wearing those damn masks. And Deku, he does go to stare at her. Right now, him covered in some blood. And she does go to burst into tears talking about it. As whenever they do to start leading these three out of the kitchen, he does try to ask some questions about what happened. And someone does talk about it. John tried to defend them. He he made sure that they weren't going to be eaten, but those people, they pumped something into the air and then they took him. They they, they might have tried to take them too, but she vaguely remembers them talking about how he had a lot of meat on his bones. He was some sort of rare flavor. He he was gonna be eaten. I know. Right now, Deku going to turn. And whenever his dad is in the kitchen, he does look around at quite a lot of the people who are here. And Izuku, he does go to see his father. His face doesn't say it all. Deku's wearing an expression quite familiar to him. It's the same one he saw when his son came back to the vault. But he does stare at his daughter, him pulling off his helmet and rushing up to her. She has 1,000-yard stare, like she saw something she really didn't want to. And he does a turn back to Deku. What happened down there? They're cannibals, Dad. Take her back to the Lucky 38. Take these two as well. There's some business here we have to take care of. What are you going to do? I'm not going to tell you that. Just go. I think it's best if you don't know. Okay. Oh, okay. I understand. You said that this would happen if things were that bad. We need to send them a message. And this isn't enough. It's never enough. Now, I order you to take her back to the Lucky 38 and get her showered and rested. Now, there's a direct order from your current commanding officer. Hisashi going to stare at his own son, and he does get a turn and begin to leave. Right now, him picking up Mia and going to tell her not to look. Just keep her eyes closed and everything will be fine. The other people going to somewhat grab onto his shoulders and close their eyes. Hisashi, he does this stop and turn, asking Izuku if it's going to be as bad as he thinks it's going to be. Worse. Don't come back. Just don't look behind you. I'll gather everyone together and we'll talk about supplies. Him walking over as he does go to grab the woman and go to turn, picking up the man as he does I tell them. Both of them just don't look. I'll get them outside and then I'll gather everyone together. Then they'll go. If he does want to come back, then make sure to be prepared. They need to display what happened here. They can't let someone say they did this for no reason. Hisashi nodding his head slowly. And he does try to understand things from Deku's point of view. Cannibal casino host? Those words don't belong in that sentence in that order. I mean, what the fuck? And that, it does disturb Hisashi. Right now, him going to take these three, when they do get out of the casino, back to the Lucky 38. And Deku, he does gather the mutants together. They were able to take quite a few people alive. Some members of the staff, and some who they're not sure if they just ran the tables or were part of the family. part of the family that ran the casino. And right now, that it doesn't matter. Unfortunately, they're caught up in this. And people, they do get to hear about what happened. They scavenged the kitchen and they found some post that they could use. And it was quite simple. A representative of the NCR heard about what was happening, and he went over to investigate. The guard, he walked through that gate and saw what was happening when he started to try and wave himself through the crowd. Deku, he planted a forest, and he made things quite clear. Some people, they were strung up by their bodies. Others weren't too sure. And on the fountain, there was a woman's head, her body strapped to it, as in front of it, Deku was writing one simple word. And when he did so, he turned to look around at the carnage in front of him. Dozens of people, dead and strung to the front of the lawn, laid out. And it's horrifying. Right now, him staring at some parts of the bodies that are laid out. And they spell out 16 and then the number 8. No, that's not an 8. What is that, a 5? Yeah, that's a 5. Right now, him staring at that. As he does see Deku go to walk away, and people do start talking about what that word he wrote down is. Cannibals. They were cannibals? I mean, fuck, why aren't the Vegas security systems doing anything? And the man does try to ask questions. However, he is quite disturbed to hear about how the Ultralux apparently was hosting parties that may have had cannibals. I mean, no one knows for sure, but the fact that the freaking Securitrons just let what they saw go down, it might mean something. And Deku, he himself felt his own stomach turn. Part of him enjoyed that violence, but right now, part of him is also concerned about Mia, concerned about those others. He knows she's supposed to be banished, but he can't help but worry about her. They'll take her back to the damn vault. Fuck what anyone says. If the NCR do try to bring this up, then they'll know the brutality they can give to their enemies. And that it currently does go through his mind. Right now, him going to sit on the ATV as Mia, she does go to lean forwards on another, still somewhat sobbing. And there is where Deku, he does a turn. Chloe, she is on one of the bikes. And she does go to talk about it. So what does he want for his birthday? You're asking me that question now. It's a question. Mia, what do you think your brother wants? What? Why are you asking me that? It's a serious question. I mean, I'm trying to think of some gifts, but one thought that does come to my mind might need some more planning. You can't be serious. I mean, after what happened? That's what you're asking me about? Mia, it's a question. Think about it. Just give an answer. I don't know. A new gun, maybe a new comic, something that is part of his interest. Fuck, I don't know. Negotiate for some time with the VR systems, I mean, that shit's always packed. It is. Her being to rant about a few things. And right now, Deku does turn to Chloe, who does just nod along, happy. She's at least talking. The other two, she can't say much about them. Some of their wounds looked bad, and there were signs that those people tried to, well, they may have tried to start the process. But that's just it. They didn't get far. Luckily, John was able to fend them off. But that's another issue. They were almost fucking dinner for those cannibals. Hopefully now people know if you're wearing a goddamn Pip-Boy, you can't just walk up to them like that. You can't try to threaten them. He made sure that people learn that lesson. Whoever takes over that casino, well, they'll definitely know to fear that number. To fear them. And Deku, he does go to turn. Some people, they do go to avert their gaze as Deku, his enhanced hearing, does pick up the word demon. And that it does go to make him burst out laughing with a bit of an inappropriate chuckle. And some people do to turn, staring directly at him, as he does tell them, "They gotta head home. Come on. Mia, I know." Her turning and going to drive away. Right now, them leaving some of the remaining vehicles here. And Mr. House's Securitrons do keep an eye on them. Though Courier 6, yeah, he went over to investigate, and he does have to say, it was quite a show that they put on. And with that, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.